Friends, have you ever wondered where God's law came from? The rules that shaped nations and guided faith for thousands of years. Let's travel back in time, back to the vast, quiet desert, to a mountain wrapped in fire and cloud, where God Himself spoke directly to His people. This isn't just a story from an old book, it's a foundational moment that reveals the very heart of God. It's a journey of faith, failure, and incredible forgiveness. Imagine this scene, after their miraculous escape from Egypt and the breathtaking crossing of the Red Sea. The Israelites found themselves in the harsh and forgiving wilderness of Sinai. The sun beat down relentlessly, the ground was dry and cracked, and supplies were non-existent. They were a people on the edge, exhausted, hungry, and thirsty. Naturally, they started to grumble and complain, their hope wavering. They cried out to their leader, Moses, their fear turning into frustration. It's a very human reaction, isn't it? When we're pushed to our limits, it's easy to forget the miracles we've already seen. But God, in His infinite patience, didn't punish their doubt. Instead, He showed them His faithfulness in the most tangible ways. When they cried out for food, He sent bread from heaven itself, a mysterious, sweet substance they called manna, which appeared on the ground with the morning dew. When they were desperate for water, God instructed Moses to strike a rock. And from that solid stone, fresh, life-giving water gushed out for everyone to drink. With every step through that desolate landscape, with every provision, God was teaching them a crucial lesson. He was their provider. He was not a distant deity, but a present Father who cared for their every need. He was building their trust, preparing their hearts for something even greater. After 3 long months of this journey, they arrived at the foot of a towering, majestic peak, Mount Sinai. This wasn't just any mountain, it was about to become the very throne room of God on earth. The atmosphere changed dramatically. The ground began to tremble. Thunder, louder than anything they had ever heard, ripped through the air. And flashes of lightning lit up the sky like fire. A thick, dark cloud, dense and mysterious, descended and enveloped the entire summit. And from the heart of that fire and cloud, a powerful trumpet blast sounded, growing louder and louder. The people, standing at the base of the mountain, were filled with a profound sense of awe and terror. They physically felt the presence of the Almighty. They knew, without a doubt, that God was near. In that moment of overwhelming power, God called Moses by name, inviting him to ascend the mountain and enter into His very presence. As Moses bravely climbed into the cloud and fire, the people watched from below, their hearts pounding. There, on that holy mountain, amidst the raw power of creation, God established a covenant, a sacred agreement with His people. He spoke words that would not only shape the nation of Israel but would also echo through the corridors of history, forming the moral bedrock for billions of people across millennia. He gave them the 10 Commandments. Now, it's easy to think of these as just a list of harsh rules, a set of do-nots. But that's not how God intended them. These commandments were a gift of freedom. They were a guide for how to live in a right relationship with Him, to love God with all their heart, and how to live in a right relationship with each other, to love their neighbors as themselves. It was a blueprint for a flourishing, just, and compassionate society, free from the chaos and destruction of sin. But the story takes a tragic turn. While Moses was away on the mountain, communing with God for 40 days and 40 nights, the people down below grew restless and impatient. Their faith, so recently bolstered by miracles, began to falter once again. They went to Aaron, Moses' brother, and demanded a god they could see, a physical idol to worship. Succumbing to the pressure, Aaron collected their gold jewelry, melted it down, and fashioned it into the statue of a golden calf. The people began to celebrate wildly, dancing and making offerings to this lifeless idol, proclaiming, "This is your God, O Israel, who brought you out of the land of Egypt." When Moses finally descended from the mountain, carrying the 2 stone tablets inscribed by the very finger of God, he was met with this devastating scene of betrayal. In a moment of righteous anger and profound sorrow, he threw the tablets to the ground, and they shattered at the foot of the mountain, a powerful symbol of their broken covenant. Yet, this isn't where the story ends. In what is perhaps the most beautiful part of this entire account, Even in the face of their blatant rebellion, God's heart was not one of vengeance, but of mercy. Moses interceded for the people, pleading with God to forgive them, and God listened. He is a God of second chances. He instructed Moses to carve 2 new stone tablets, just like the first ones. Moses once again ascended the mountain, and God, in an incredible act of grace, wrote his law again with his own hand. This renewed covenant was an unbreakable promise that, despite their failures, God would not abandon his people. He would continue to be with them, to guide them, and to love them. His mercy triumphed over their sin. The final scene is one of restoration. Moses comes down from the mountain, holding the new tablets, and his face is literally shining with a divine light from having been in God's presence. The people, humbled and repentant, bow in reverence. The story of Mount Sinai is a timeless reminder for all of us. God's law is not meant to be a set of heavy chains that restrict us, but a loving framework that brings true freedom and protects us from self-destructs. It guides us into a life of purpose and leads us ever closer to Him. And the most amazing part is this: the same God who wrote His law on tablets of stone wants to write His law on the tablets of your heart today, through His Spirit. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If this story resonated with you, please give this video a like and consider subscribing to our channel for more content that explores the depths of faith. We'd love to have you as part of our community. God bless.